their first game all the way back in November of the qualifiers. It was against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Charlene Corral, who is going to start in this game, a little teaser for you, had 7 goals in that match. Absolute superstar with this Mexican team. As for the U.S. Virgin Islands, their one victory was against St. Lucia. 3-1 was the final there. And their most recent match on March 5th was a 9-0 loss to Puerto Rico, hence why they really need a big goal difference. So whoever, because goal difference is very important in this tournament, whoever takes the lead, they're not going to take their foot off the gas. And there's a group to be decided. As I mentioned, Group A, and 2 teams have already been eliminated, so it just comes down to Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Mexico. Now we'll pause now. We'll hear the national anthems for both countries, and then we will kick off in Mexico Concacaf W Qualifiers.
Señoras y señores, pongámonos de pie para escuchar de manera respetuosa el himno de Islas Vírgenes. Damas y caballeros, es tiempo de escuchar y entonar con respeto, pasión y orgullo el himno nacional mexicano.
Well, there you have it. National anthems for both the U.S. Virgin Islands and Mexico. As we get ready to kick off Concacaf W Qualifiers, this is the first step. Both of these countries have dreams of making the World Cup in 2027 on the women's side. That will take place in Brazil. Okay, set on the starting 11s for both teams. Introduce you to our officials and our captains, and then kick off. We'll begin with the home side in Mexico, a 4-4-2 formation, Barreras in net, and the player to watch out for is Charlene Corral. 7 goals, she has 9 total in this tournament through 2 games. That is tied for the most so far in these qualifiers, paired up with Maria Sanchez. This should be the dynamic duo for Mexico. Again, mentioned the 14-0, just lopsided first win for Mexico in this tournament over St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It really set the tone. Dilly Gomez is our center referee out of Costa Rica. Our captains will meet today. For Mexico, it is Kenty Robles, the captain. And there's Naya Villalba, the captain for the U.S. Virgin Islands. She has a goal in this tournament in that win against St. Lucia and the Grenadines. This Virgin Islands side was shut out against Puerto Rico in their last match. 9-0 was the final in that game. Now, this should be a difficult place to play for the U.S. Virgin Islands, not to mention they only have 2 field players available on the bench in Speakman and Brown. This is a team that will have to defend well, so we'll rely on Vega and Hill to hold it down. Rem in net, and Jones will be the target player, number 9. Stefan Dufour is the head coach for Virgin Islands. Pedro Lopez, head coach for Mexico. Final meetings for these 2 countries before we kick off. Got the yellow kits with the blue lettering for U.S. Virgin Islands, and the green kits with a little splash of red for Mexico. Now, this game is so important for both of these countries, with Puerto Rico looming at the top of Group A. You must win your group to move on to the Concacaf W Championship. That's the only way to qualify for the Women's World Cup for these 2 teams. Mexico's best case scenario is to win their next 2 games. That would be against, of course, the Virgin Islands and then Puerto Rico. That might end up being what decides Group A, depending on how this game shakes out. Virgin Islands needs a couple of things to go their way. They have to win out as well, so they must beat Mexico here. They need a better goal difference than Puerto Rico as well. So U.S. Virgin Islands not out of it in 3rd right now in Group A. And we kick off Mexico, U.S. Virgin Islands, meeting here in Concacaf W Qualifiers. Already you can hear the chants. It is quite packed here as Gutierrez up the flank for Mexico. Maria Sanchez. Sanchez launches in a service and it's cut off by Jenna Rem. Oh, Maria Sanchez, 30 years old. She's originally from Idaho in the United States. She does have 60-plus caps with this Mexican national team, been a part of it since 2015. Currently with Tigres in Liga MX Femenil. Most of the players for Pedro Lopez play in Liga MX Femenil. Now, this Mexican national team is looking to turn things around. They have some tough history as of late in tournaments like this. Have gotten out of qualifiers, but it's been the Concacaf Championship that's been the issue. Most recently in 2022, they hosted that championship and were looking to be one of the 4 teams to qualify for the Women's World Cup in 2023, and they did not. Came in last in their group. As Maria Sanchez off the cross, looking to finish, and again, offside is called actually this time. Mayor, the target for Mexico. This Mexican women's national team has missed the World Cup in the last 2 iterations. So under Lopez, and with some real talent on this roster. And hoping to change that when it comes to 2027 in Brazil. Gutierrez driving, cuts it across. Sanchez the option, that's where she goes. Sprinting to it, Maria Sanchez in the corner. She'll keep. Back to Gutierrez. Gutierrez centrally to Alice Soto. Little give and go to Sanchez. Sanchez off the cross. Back post, stretching for it. Keeping it in the 18, and it's ripped away by Virgin Islands. Looking to transition, a heavy touch, and it's pounced on by Rebecca Bernal. Well, most of the players on this roster for Mexico play in Liga MX Femenil, but not Rebecca Bernal. She plays for the Washington Spirit in the NWSL. Bernal, a versatile player, center back. She can be a 6. Will be at the 6 today for Mexico. Soto skies that one. Well, Alice Soto just in between multiple defenders there. Just got lost in the shuffle. And just mishit a little bit high for the 20-year-old. As DeFore looks on, the head coach for the U.S. Virgin Islands. Corral. Soto. Played wide. Driving into the 18. Shots deflected out. Gutierrez! Hits that one high. Already it's 4 minutes in, and all the play has been in the final third for Mexico. Started from that far side here, swerving through. And a little deflection could have been a goal right there. But lifted us into the stands. Right back at it here, surging for Mexico. In the run for Sanchez, shoots, Maria Sanchez scores! Mexico takes the lead! Not even 5 minutes into this match, Sanchez tallies, and Mexico in control. Well, she's in stride. It's a nice pass in front for Sanchez off her left foot. She is known for that magical left foot. And then just hits this one nicely, tucks it in the corner, out of reach for Rem, the goalkeeper for U.S. Virgin Islands. Well, Sanchez has had a fantastic professional career. She's played in Liga MX Femenil. She's also played in the NWSL, the Houston Dash, and the San Diego Wave. Off the giveaway here for Virgin Islands. Broken up by Soto. Mayor. It was on the World Cup team for Mexico all the way back in 2011, 34 years old, plays for Tigres.
¡Gol de México! Anotado por la número 7, la jugadora
Sanchez
Sánchez.
moves it centrally. Bernal on the swing, sitting back here, Virgin Islands. This is a young Virgin Islands team. Gordon was attempting to take away. Gordon playing at St. Thomas University for U.S. Virgin Islands. On the throw from Kelsey Hill. Elia Farmer, relatively new to this Mexican national team. First call-up was 2025. Sanchez at it again, taking on multiple defenders, this time to Corral. Corral off her left foot, she fires, and that one's blocked down by Virgin Islands. Gutierrez. A lot of success down this left side for Mexico so far in this match. And it's been begun by Ivan Gutierrez. Bernal on the service, header, Corral, and a goal! Another one for Mexico. Make it 10 goals for Charlene Corral in this tournament. She is the engine for this Mexican team. There's no doubt about it. She earned her first cap all the way back in 2011 in that World Cup squad. 34 years old, just sneaking in behind, and she heads it home. Rem reaching for it. Now, Corral has had a fantastic career with Mexico. She has nearly 200 goals with Pachuca. We're not even 10 minutes into this match, and Mexico is already up 2-0 on the U.S. Virgin Islands. When you consider all that Mexico is playing for, this is a team very disappointed by the result all the way back in 2022. You don't get many chances to just reset, and that's what they're hoping to do. The World Cup's just every 4 years, and this is step number 1 to get there for both of these countries. U.S. Virgin Islands has never made the World Cup. For Mexico, already has this Virgin Islands team making adjustments. A little bit frustrated there for DeFore. Mexico needs 2 wins in this April window over the next 2 games as Corral takes off, runs into 2 defenders, and she goes down. I was looking for the penalty, not going to get it. So if Mexico beats the Virgin Islands, they beat Puerto Rico, they are in. They do advance to the Concacaf Championship. They can also get in if they win this game by 6 goals or more. Then they just need to draw Puerto Rico. There's something to keep an eye out. Corral! Skies that one. Corral has over 50 goals with this Mexican national team. Another look at that. Is that a penalty? Caused some confusion here, but Mexico able to restart. Robles, Kenty Robles, the captain today out of Mexico City, 35 years old. Kimberly Rodriguez off her left foot. Heavy there for Mayor. It's cleared, at least for now, by Kelsey Hill and the Virgin Islands. Quick throw in for Gutierrez. Soto. Soto off her right foot. Mayor regroups. Robles. Scarlett Camberos. Camberos likes to go 1v1, this time taking on Hill. Bernal. Two defenders around. Slip to Corral, off the turn Sanchez. And just nothing there for Mexico. Villalvu, the captain for Virgin Islands, speaking to her side. Look, they always knew this was going to be a battle. Especially when you consider this game on the road. You can see the crowd. Gutierrez. Corral has it nudged away. Keeps on powering through. Charlene Corral already has a goal today. Sanchez. Pass intercepted. Gutierrez. Fighting for it, playing the advantage here for Mexico. Sent into the 18 and it ricochets around. Alice Soto joined this Mexican national team as just a teenager. She has 10 plus caps with this group. Her first call-up was in 2024. Robles off the cross. Corral through the air. And Rem has it. Corral scored on a header already. This from Robles. And just a little low. Jenna Rem, no problem with that one. Okay, Virgin Islands get it out of their own end. There's only so much pressure you can sustain. And now they find themselves down 2 goals. Villalvu, aggressive there. And the play is blown dead as Gomez motioning for the training staff. Contact to the head. Or both players. Alice Soto, Villalvu through the air, and it looked like the chin of Villalvu in the back of Soto's head. Well, that's a tough collision. Now, Alice Soto was a huge part of when Mexico found glory in the U20 Concacaf Championship back in 2023. Mexico defeating the U.S. women's national team to win that final. No concern, too, for Virgin Islands, and Villalvu will see if she's able to continue. Certainly a player needed for her leadership on the pitch and defensively, considering just the game plan here for Virgin Islands and their low block. But also to add, there's no defenders available on the bench. There's only 2 field players available for the U.S. Virgin Islands today. It's Speakman and Brown. So if a sub's needed here in the opening 15 minutes, that would not be good news in terms of longevity in this game. Might be a good time to give you just some updates. Multiple games going on right now. Costa Rica, the huge win over Cayman Islands, 13-0. And Bunny Shaw gets a brace for Jamaica over Antigua and Barbuda. Bunny Shaw, Concacaf legend, I guess, when you consider what she did with Jamaica on their way to the Women's World Cup all the way back in 2022 to make it in 2023. Good to see Soto's up, but Oh, on second look, there's a lot of blood off the chin of Vielvu, and so they're gonna have to at least get her a new kit. Probably get stitched up. Oh, that's concerning. Oh, Vielvu's gonna get stretchered out and likely will at least be off the pitch for quite a bit of time as they get her situated. You can see all that blood. I just really hope Vielvu's okay. We'll see what DeFore does here. So if Virgin Islands waits for her, they'll be down to 10 players against a Mexican team that's already up 2-0. If not, they'll have to burn one of 2 available field player subs this early in the match. It's a difficult decision for DeFore. Well, it's dropped to Virgin Islands. Sanchez now playing on that right side. Looks for a cross, loses a defender. Maria Sanchez to Corral, shoots and scores with no angle. Sanchez, her second already. Well, Sanchez had done so much damage on the left side, on that left wing today. She switches over to the right, and she's equally as effective. No surprise that so far the goal scorers have been Corral and Maria Sanchez. I mean, this is just a sliver of space, but she really makes a defender miss. Another look at this. Truly breaking ankles there, Maria Sanchez. And yeah, she doesn't have a great angle, but no one closes in on Sanchez, so she's able to just take a quality shot when you consider that she shouldn't have been able to. Sanchez, a pure finisher, and Mexico feeling good already in this match. Soto sprints 2. It's too far ahead. Now Vielvu, feel for her in this moment. It's such a big moment for her country. It's likely getting stitched up right now. Kimberly Rodriguez out of Club America. This is the first touches that we've seen for Barreras in net for Mexico. Goalkeeper with Pachuca. So plays with Corral and, frankly, a whole slew of players on this roster. Camaros. Robles. Head on a swivel, but no one's behind her. Gutierrez. Camberos. Can't keep it in. Oh, Scarlett Camberos, 25 years old with Club America. It's originally from San Diego, California. He's played in the NWSL with Angel City and Bay FC, so 2 expansion sides, and then moved on to Liga MX Femenil. Soto Off the turn, we'll just possess here for Mexico, already with a 3-0 lead over the Virgin Islands. Oh, based on the score, I thought that Costa Rica game had gone final. It had not. It's 15-0 Costa Rica up on Cayman Islands. Costa Rica, a country that has made the World Cup as of late. Mayor. Bernal. Corral. Soto from distance is wide with it. Well, for many reasons, Mexico is not going to take their foot off the gas. Most importantly, because if they score over 6, they just need to draw against Puerto Rico. It takes the pressure off the next game. Already halfway to that mark. Now, Puerto Rico's had a great run in this tournament so far. Jill Aguilera has 9 goals, just was passed for the lead by Corral in this game. Kimberly Rodriguez. Farmer. Kimberos. Charging forward off the turn. And her pass is intercepted. Rodriguez bends it left foot, rising for it. Top of the 18, and undercut. It's going to be a penalty. It's Bernal who draws it. And you'll take a look at this. Bernal, she had that touch and then got clipped. Just a step or two inside the area. I was making a pass there and a swing from Couch. It means that Arem is forced to go up against Corral. Charlene Corral. This could be her second of the game. Corral, yes! It's a brace for Corral in the first half. That's 11 goals in this tournament. They love it here in Mexico. And she matches Maria Sanchez. They both have 2. Makes this look so easy. Guessing wrong, Rem. But right in that lower corner. Fantastic penalty for Corral. She's a seasoned vet. Just 5 feet tall. Has been around this Mexican national team for so long. She understands what it means to set the tone in these qualifiers. Mexico, the 4th-ranked team in Concacaf, made 3 World Cups in their country's history on the women's side. Bernal, from distance, that would have been a beauty. Soto attempting to go top shelf. No, Rem and the Virgin Islands just using this as a moment to breathe. It doesn't appear that Villalvu has come back onto the pitch. So right now, playing down a player as well, the Virgin Islands. all these qualifiers. It's to get to the Concacaf W Championship in November of 2026. The United States and Canada have already punched their ticket, and so they will wait to see the 6 group winners that come out and will be decided in the next couple weeks. Swerving through, Gutierrez snakes through multiple defenders and slams that into one. It's off of Frost, but possession stays with Mexico. Mayor. Bernal, the one who drew the penalty. Long stride for Robles. Fires. Camberos was the option on the far post. They don't connect. Close call, though. Defended by Gordon. Well, interestingly enough, this is going to be our first corner kick of the match. And towards that far post, and it's tallied. 5-0 Mexico. Created by Kimberly Rodriguez. And Mexico rolling. Another look at this on the in-swinger. All the momentum for Rodriguez. At first it looked like it was an own goal, but no, it's Rodriguez. She just steps in front. Then able to head that one into the back of the net. Rodriguez, 27 years old, plays for Club America in Liga MX. Well, these fans certainly getting a show from Mexico. Mayor, Camberos has it poked away. Gutierrez, Gordon wins out. Virgin Islands didn't have the numbers in front there. Camberos floats in, moves to her right, and is partially blocked. A corner kick on the way for Mexico. Virgin Islands going to have to be a little more organized than on that last set piece in which we saw Mexico score. Rem. Mayor stands in front of her. This one high, rising for it, and it's over the crossbar. Mayor gets around a defender, and her pass into the 6 is broken up. Rodriguez, who's the first to score, not named Sanchez or Corral. Corral with momentum off her left foot. Defense gets in front and clears. Well, a good read by Virgin Islands on that play. Can't catch a break, though. It's been in the final third this whole game. Canberra, she fires a shot. Rem off the rebound. Corral blocked again by Rem. And then it finds the back of the net for Mexico. Through the chaos, 6-0. Well, multiple chances, and Rem denies the first two, gets some help from her defense, but Mexico just too strong in this moment. It's Sanchez, who I believe had that final deflection in. I'll take a look at this, the shot from Canberra's Rem with the rebound. It looked like Corral was going to be able to score point blank, but Sanchez there to finish the job. Second rejection there, little header. And Sanchez splits two defenders. Just sticks her leg out there, crashing in. Some friendly fire from Hill and the Virgin Islands. So that's a hat trick for Sanchez in this first half. Mayor. Robles with a 6-0 lead for Mexico. Bernal. Here comes Mexico again off the cross. Corral. A defense lands on her there. Mexico, they win by 6+ goals. Just has to draw Puerto Rico in the final match to win the group. That puts more pressure on Puerto Rico to win that game. Notable as it relates to Group A for the Virgin Islands needing to win out. Starting with this Mexico game. They have a lot of work to do to get there. Well, it's good news for Virgin Islands. You can see that their captain, Villalvu, is back in this game. Took a nasty hit to the head, to the chin, really. Camberos into the final third, now into the area. Off to her right, Mayor to Corral, the combination. Rem says no, second chance, Rem says no again. Two denials from Jenna Rem. Oh, Rem has made some difficult saves in this first half. We'll start with this one. A little combination between Corral and Mayor. Then Sanchez through the air. She dives. That's a very difficult stop. The kick save to get up and then dive, going the other way. And deny Sanchez. On the in-swinger for Mexico. Drops for Bernal. Camberos rejected. Less than 10 minutes to go in this first half. Here comes Mexico again. That one off the post for Corral. Rodriguez through the air has been threatening. We've already seen her score. Did look like that. It wasn't offside. Some of these players are getting lost, specifically on set pieces for Virgin Islands. Robles. Jumping on that touch here for Virgin Islands. Gutierrez plays it long. Actually, she was going for a shot, and it's too high. Heavy off of Catherine Turner. Villalvu, though, wins for Virgin Islands. I didn't have the legs on that one. Haven't really called the names of Nieves and some of the forwards in this match for Virgin Islands. Haven't had a chance to create anything. Camberos, on the other hand, from Mexico, she shoots and scores! Scarlett Camberos adds her name to this tally list for Mexico. It is 7-0 in the first half. That one's threaded through nicely for Mexico. Everybody racing back. A little toe poke for Camberos. Well, to Concacaf W Qualifiers, it's Group A, Mexico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So far in this first half, it's been all Mexico. Corral and Sanchez leading the charge with 2 each. Or excuse me, Sanchez is a hat trick now. Probably should start writing these down. There's been so many goals in this game. Sanchez, her 3rd goal, was off a rebound from Corral. Here's Corral. Bernal. Robles to Soto. And a goal kick coming for Virgin Islands. There's the scoring summary for you. Corral has the lone penalty in this game. Sanchez with 3, Corral has 2. Kimberly Rodriguez has a goal, and Camberos was the last to score for Mexico. Well, just an update from around CONCACAF. Priscilla Chinchilla for Costa Rica has 6 goals against Cayman Islands. Charlene Corral has scored more than that in this tournament. She had 7 goals in Mexico's first game against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It was a 14-0 victory. We might be on our way to that if things don't change for U.S. Virgin Islands. Soto lofts. Cleared for Virgin Islands into the stands. Off the service, Bernal just skims her head. Wide. Launch for Virgin Islands. Can they get there? Barreras instead. Bernal to Robles. Slides it up the flank. Soto. Alice Soto surveys. Whipped in the 18, Bernal the target. Instead, Virgin Islands, the last to touch, off of Turner. Kimberly Rodriguez. Camberos shoots with a right. Rem has the stop. Tight passes there for Mexico on the build, and Camberos wanted to shoot with her right. She might have had a better look with her left. Rodriguez. Mayor. Camberos. Picking up speed. Give and go. Scarlett Camberos. Dishing it. Mexico with the shot that's saved on the line by Virgin Islands. Kelsey Hill steps in front. Looking for a second shot. Bernal. Robles. Header. No. Wide. Gutierrez on the pickup. Regroups for Mexico and Mayor. Trouble redirecting off the volley. Corral was going for it. I think it would have been wide, but Rem jumps on it. Another look at this. Just Rem got blocked by her own defender. And so Kelsey Hill steps in behind and makes the save for Virgin Islands. Look, they have had pressure this entire match so far. In a stoppage time, we're going to get 4 minutes in this first half between Mexico and Virgin Islands. Corral shoots and it's blocked. Mayor just over the crossbar. This is promising for Virgin Islands. Robles slows down the attack. About 3 minutes to go in this first half between Mexico and Virgin Islands. Mayor. So gonna slip that centrally. Nieves. Heavy. Oh, now U.S. Virgin Islands, immediately after the giveaway, attempt to get organized defensively. Otherwise, this Mexico team can really slice you up. We've seen it already. Bernal plays this one long. Corral to Camberos. And that one dips over the crossbar. Excuse me, that was Corral on the shot. Oh, Corral's had multiple goals in all 3 games that she's played in these qualifiers. That one had some texture to it. It would have been a beaut if it dropped where she intended it to drop. 7 goals in game number 1, 2 in game number 2. She already has 2 here today. Mayor and Camberos combining. Bounced around and then cleared by Virgin Islands. Less than a minute to go in this first half. In a space with Gutierrez, she surveys. On the far post, no one on the end of that. Bernal from outside is wide. Sono springs forward. Sanchez. Bernal. Gutierrez, time for a final push in this first half. Bernal. And Virgin Islands gets it out of trouble for now. Not done yet. Soto whips in the cross. Mayor turned around. Bernal. Gutierrez jumps on it. Corral. Mayor. Oh, we're still going. A little shifty there. Camberos on the wing. Off the cross, on the volley, hits the crossbar. Wow, that would have been something for Mexico. Multiple players calling for it on the far post. Camberos in a combination. Slices, and another goal. Sanchez has 4. Four goals for Maria Sanchez in the first half of this game. This is a great, just unselfish little build from Mexico. Camberos and might have been able to take this herself, but she realizes that wide open is Maria Sanchez. And Sanchez had the better angle. That's where she goes. And Mexico very much in control of this game. It is 8-0. Well, after that kickoff, that will take us to the end of the first half. Pedro Lopez has to be pleased with the way Mexico has played in the first 45 minutes of this game at home against the U.S. Virgin Islands. It is 8-0 Mexico. With a very hefty lead in this game, Maria Sanchez has 4 goals. Corral has 2. And Mexico is rolling against the U.S. Virgin Islands. We'll take a break and we'll come back with highlights from this first half after this.
Encuentra los mejores contenidos de la Selección Nacional de México en nuestras distintas plataformas. Suscríbete a Díaz, orgulloso patrocinador de la Selección Nacional de México. Incondicionales, ¿quieren regalos de la Selección Nacional de México? Es momento de hacer ruido. La zona más animada, vamos a ir a regalar souvenirs de México. ¡Vamos a misión! Queremos ver las luces de sus listos con las bazucas a misión. En la zona más animada les van a dar regalos. ¡Vamos a
Highlights from the first half: Mexico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Group A action, Concacaf W Qualifiers. Both these countries coming into this game looking to take control of the group and win this group. In order to do that, both these countries pretty much need to win out, and they know that. You could tell specifically from Mexico coming into this match. The U.S. Virgin Islands, 1 win and 1 loss. Mexico undefeated, including a 14-0 victory to start this tournament. And they start strong here. Maria Sanchez into that far corner. Sanchez would not be the last goal that she scored in the first half. Another look at this, just in stride. This is opening minutes of the game and would really set the tone for what Mexico has been able to do in this home match. Have a fantastic crowd on hand. This time worked around Corral. That's one player you just cannot let her get open. Slip in behind there, Corral. And despite being 5 feet, she's great through the air, heads it home. And that would make it 2-0. Look at this. Just nice vision as well on this. Too much for Rem, who almost was able to swat this down. Not even 10 minutes in this game, already a multi-goal lead for Mexico. Starting on the right wing this time, Sanchez breaks through and nobody closes in on her. And when she realizes that Maria Sanchez is too good of a player to not just take the shot, And Sanchez with her second goal. Another look at this. She truly makes a defender completely miss in Kelsey Hill. And then she scores. And that would make it 3-0 Mexico. Oh, just continuing. Bernal crashing into the 18. She had the touch. She gets fouled. So it means it's a penalty for Corral. Corral buries it, tucks it in the corner. Her second goal of the night. That would make it 4-0. Oh, Charlene Corral's going to be money from the spot for Mexico. The 34-year-old leads with 11 goals in this tournament for any player. Initially, this looked like off a corner kick, an own goal when you saw a defender stretching for it. But when you look at this highlight, Kimberly Rodriguez actually fantastic. She's in motion and just heads that one straight into the back of the net. It's a great aerial win there for Kimberly Rodriguez. She is the first player not named Corral or Sanchez to score. That would make it 5-0. Camberos tries her hand off the rebound. No, Corral rejected, and then Sanchez finishes the job. So Maria Sanchez, that's her third. Still in the first half here. Another look at this initial shot from Camberos. It's low, it's blocked. Rem does well on the second one, but there's just too many players around her. Rem has made a couple of good saves in this first half. Maria Sanchez, she is making players fall all over the pitch. That's the second time we've seen somebody fall with Maria Sanchez. And then Camberos, lovely finish. Her first of the night. That one threaded through to Camberos. Oh, it's a great leading pass. Blazing Camberos. And then it's Camberos who starts this. A great assist to Maria Sanchez, who's wide open. Just right in the middle of the 18. Everybody gets caught kind of ball watching here. Slipping into a dangerous spot. Sanchez, her fourth of the first half. So she has half the goals for this Mexican team. In the first 45 minutes, you can see the frustration there from Rem. And that would be the end of the first half. 8-0 the score after 45 minutes. Mexico up big on the U.S. Virgin Islands. Here are the stats for you. No shots in this game for U.S. Virgin Islands. They've had the ball 15% of the time. 37 shots, 15 shots on target for Mexico. They've had 85% of the possession. There's no question this game has been dominated by Mexico. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the start of the second half here in the Concacaf W Qualifiers.
And we are underway. Concacaf W Qualifiers.
Second chance opportunity saved. Nearly on the line. Third chance is in. What a move, Christopher. And a heck of a save.
He's going to try again. Oh, and she scores this time.
This is obsession. The beautiful sickness. You tell yourself it's just a game. A thing to pass the time. But time starts to bend around it. This is football, a madness that ties strangers together and tears friends apart. And these are its most epic battles.
broadcast is copyrighted by Concacaf for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any picture descriptions or accounts of the game without the consent of Concacaf is strictly prohibited.
Welcome back to Mexico. Getting ready to kick off the second half. Mexico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We've played 45 minutes. The score is 8-0. Oh, you can see the captain, the Alvu for the U.S. Virgin Islands, had to get her nose taped up. She took a shot from Alice Soto. Actually, it was the back of Soto's head that hit the Alvu in that first half, but got to see she's all right. Oh, there's only 2 field players available on the bench for U.S. Virgin Islands, so they have not made any changes so far in this game. But Mayra Delgadillo comes in, plays for Pachuca for Mexico. As Mexico is already off to the races. And Jasmine Caceres also comes in for Mexico. It's going to take out Camberos, who finishes with a goal. As a corner kick on the way for Mexico. And Camberos comes out, and so does Kimberly Rodriguez, who also scored in this game. So we're already off here in the second half. Corral has a brace in this match already. Off the corner kick. Lifted, missed, and cleared. Delgadillo, the option, mistiming there. Shot from distance. And it's swatted down by Rem. That was from way downtown. A confident look from Gutierrez. If you're up 8-0, you might as well go for it. Well, it means there's another corner kick for Corral in Mexico. On the delivery, the in-swinger near post, bouncing through, multiple players there, crashing in, taking the dribble and the shot. Saved by Rem, who just slides over to the near post. Caceres on the look. Joined Guadalajara in the beginning of 2026, 29-year-old. Oh, just some full-time scores for you. Costa Rica finishes with a 21-0 win over Cayman Islands. And Jamaica takes care of business against Antigua and Barbuda 4-0, the score in that. And Bunny Shaw with multiple goals for Jamaica. Sanchez drops in for Corral. And did it go in? Rem dives on it. Caceres was there. No, ultimately, it does not go over the line. Caceres is already making some noise since she entered this game as a halftime sub. Well, this result, if it stands, if U.S. Virgin Islands doesn't make a huge comeback or close in on this lead, at least slightly, then that would mean that Mexico just needs to draw Puerto Rico to win Group A and move on to the Concacaf Championship. Oh, the foul by Turner. Sono calling for options. Caught off. Heavy from Sanchez. Gutierrez. Mayor. With Bernal. Mayor bounces to Corral. Corral shoots. Just off.
Adidas, orgulloso patrocinador de la Selección Nacional de México.
The Alvu wins for Virgin Islands. Bernal. Pops for Sanchez. Rebecca Bernal. Farmer. The center back taking her space. Soto. On the run, Farmer. Farmer. Control, shoots. That is wide. Elia Farmer plays in the NWSL with the Chicago Stars. Previously, though, played in Liga MX with Tigres and is a product of USC, a college in the United States. Soto from just outside, and it dips off.
Adidas, orgulloso patrocinador
Took a
de la
deflection, so a
Selección
corner
Nacional
kick
de
coming.
Que se escuche fuerte, Zacatecas. México. 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 México.
Driving Sanchez with her left foot. No on the header. Rem dives on it. Well, Sanchez begins this. Bernal slams that off the woodwork. Little smiles on their reaction. They certainly have some cushion, Mexico. Robles. Another corner for Mexico. Oh, if the Virgin Islands don't make an epic comeback, this would be it in terms of not their road in qualifiers. They'd have one more game, but would not be able to move on to the championship out of contention to win Group A. Corral surges, far post, headers down, and it hits the side of the netting. A Farmer, they're searching for her to get her first goal. That's the second opportunity she's had in the last couple of minutes. Another corner, though, for Mexico. Here they go. Off the service. Lands. Out of trouble. Not totally, though. Robles. Gutierrez. Soto. Off the bounce. Soto on the cross. Turned around is Bernal. To Pedro Lopez, the head coach for Mexico. Cáceres. Top of the netting. I'll just shade it out of play. Pedro Lopez took over after this Mexican team missed out on the World Cup in 2023. Now, this country has a lot of pride. They want to get back to the World Cup in 2027. On a national stage, winning the Pan American Games a couple of years ago, beating the U.S. women's national team in 2024 in the Gold Cup, steadily getting more confident. Certainly not a lack of talent on this Mexican roster. And can they, get over that hurdle? Focusing on finishing this half, and then to decide the group, it's going to be Puerto Rico and Mexico, most likely. Soto off her left foot. That's curled around. Second ball, no. Cáceres. Soto. Moves centrally. Another one wrapped around, and Rem has it. Barreras at halftime, and still now no shots for the U.S. Virgin Islands, so it's been a pretty slow day in the office for the goalkeeper. Corral racing into the 18, cuts it back, and the shot blocked down. Looking for a second chance. Cáceres just can't get around. Staying strong, the Virgin Islands. Lita Frost. Oh, Rem pushes it away too, so Cáceres can't get there. Corral dribbles to Sanchez, who has 4 goals in this game. Skips all the way out towards the midfield on a reset here. Time to settle. And that one's rejected by Farmer, who's now had 3 or 4 shots in the second half. Oh, tough here for Villalvu. They had patched her up. Initially, I thought it was her chin, but it's her nose. They had patched her up in the first half, and she's bleeding again. So I do think that's something that Gomez, our center referee, is looking at. Regardless, a couple of more changes for Mexico. Nicole Perez comes in, Alice Soto comes out. This is the first sub that we've seen for U.S. Virgin Islands. Jade Brown enters the game. And then Alexia Delgado replaces Rebecca Bernal for Mexico. So 2 changes for Mexico, 1 for Virgin Islands.
Cambio por el equipo de Islas Vírgenes. Sale con el número 8, Elizabeth Vega. Entra con el número 6, Jade Brown. Al minuto 60.
Mexico going for it. Rem stretching. Might have redirected that. Another chance for Mayor is high.
Cambio por el equipo de México. Sale con el número 6, Adri Soto. Entra con el número 22.
That's a great save from Rem. Had to hurl her body in the corner. Got her fingertips on it to hit the cross, or excuse me, to hit the post.
Al minuto 60 de este partido.
Farmer. Gutierrez. Taken by Virgin Islands. It's tough for Virgin Islands. They've just been defending this whole game, and that just takes so much out of you. Plus, the numbers are back in a low block, and they can't really open it up when you consider the score. Oh, the subs. Just inserting themselves into this game well. Nicole Perez from Mexico, and Kelsey Hill a little bit slow to get up. Only Abigail Speakman could come in for Hill if she does need a change. And yeah, you see she got hit in the face. Short option for Mexico. Jumping on it, U.S. Virgin Islands. Oh, Rem just gonna push everybody up if she can. See if playing it long can help her team gain possession, but it just doesn't seem like Virgin Islands has the energy. 8-0 was a score at halftime. Mexico has not scored in the second half. Caceres. Nicole Perez. Shot from distance. It's a pass instead, and leaping for it, Rem. Perez. Caceres. Robles. Return to Perez. Wide. Cutting through. It's Delgadillo. Good vision here. Delgadillo is certainly open, just a little bit off with her finish. before directing his side. It's been a difficult day for Virgin Islands. Oh, nice move. Looking at transition now, Virgin Islands. Up the pitch. And the pass is too far ahead. Oh, it's Group A Concacaf W Qualifiers. Mexico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Another change. This is the only field player that Virgin Islands can bring in. Abigail Speakman comes in. We're going to see a captain's change. The Alva's going to come out, excuse me. The Alva. Oh, the Alva really showing some fight. She got hit and had to get worked on by the training staff. You could see her bleeding later in this game, playing through that. Caceres. Dish it off. Gets it back. Off her right foot. Far post header, no. Corral has scored through the air today. That time overshoots. Couch for Virgin Islands. Just carried for Mexico. Using the whip to Robles. Gutierrez. On the turn, Corral. Blocked, second chance. Rem got there, but it was wide anyway. Delgado, the sub, the 26-year-old. Been with Tigres since 2023. Rem in discussion with Letta Frost. Frost with the U.S. Virgin Islands. So plays Georgia Southwestern State University. Now for Virgin Islands, still have another game in this tournament. Take on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a team eliminated from contention. So on paper, that they should have the advantage, Virgin Islands, in that match. Mexico. Last game's going to be against Puerto Rico. Those are the top two teams in the group. Caceres. Nice save by Rem. And off the rebound, Mexico can't finish. Caceres again. Splits two defenders. She goes down. And the call means we get a free kick. Caceres holding her head after that. That looked like a shot. Rem is able to redirect. And then it's saved off the line by Frost. We've seen 2 or 3 saves on the line for Virgin Islands in this game defensively. Corral in discussion. So many players on that wall because it's essentially straight away. Corral and Sanchez are the 2 options. Less than 20 minutes to go in this one, Mexico and Virgin Islands. Corral straight to net, and it's off. This one for Corral, just bent out of play. She wants that hat trick. Gutierrez. Sanchez sprints 2, looks around, intended for Corral, and a corner kick. Into the 18, rejected by Virgin Islands. All the way back for Gutierrez. Still no goals for Mexico in this second half after scoring 8 in the first. Delgado. Gutierrez. Turning to square for Mexico, Mayor. Calling for it, Robles. Robles wants to fire, and she does, and it skies just behind the net. Zacatecas, Mexico is where we are at. It was very loud in the first half, mostly because Mexico scored 8 goals. Got a little bit quieter here. I get the feeling the next one, this crowd will erupt. Miscommunication there. Player goes down for Virgin Islands. Jumping on it is Gordon. Caceres now for Mexico. Caceres to Rem. And Rem has it. Looks like Palacios, Kiana Palacios is gearing up to enter this game for Mexico. Farmer Takes her space. Robles, wide. On the wing now, Kenty Robles. Caceres. Dribbles right into defender and Gordon. Helping out here. Looking for the cross. Farmer, no. Kelsey Hill got a piece of that. And you can see the labor there for Virgin Islands. So here comes Kiana Palacios for Mexico. Maria Sanchez, her day is done. She finishes with 4 goals in this game, Sanchez. Farmer. Caceres has it swept away, but a corner kick. Charlene Corral scored both her goals in the first half, including a penalty. Player goes down for Mexico, heavy, and booted away.
Cambio por el equipo de México. Sale con el número 7, María Sánchez. Entra con el número 10.
Can't connect through the air for Mexico. And Delgadillo.
Al minuto 76 de este partido. La asistencia a este partido de esta noche es de 18,735 aficionados. Incondicionales, les agradecemos
Robles.
su asistencia. Gracias.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you missed quite the first half for Mexico. 8 goals in the opening 45 minutes of this game. Mayor carries to Corral. On the turn. Poked away by Virgin Islands. A throw-in coming for the visitors. Well, for U.S. Virgin Islands, this would be the second lopsided loss in a row, having lost 9-0 to Puerto Rico in the last match of this tournament. So looking to go out on a strong note with that game against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Delgado being pestered by multiple defenders for Virgin Islands. Farmer. Nice pass from Corral. And just can't get there. Delgadillo pouncing on it, Rem. Oh, this is all very impressive for Mexico, but you consider one of their stars, Jackie Ovalle, is not available. Went out in an NWSL game recently. Ovalle has been a big part of this Mexican team. Great combination with Corral and Sanchez. So to have this score without her on the roster, that says a lot about the depth for Mexico.
Venga, Zacatecas, vamos juntos, Coral. Iniciamos en general a la cuenta de 3. 1.
Well, it looks like the training staff's going to have to take a look at a U.S. Virgin Islands defender. The only player available that could come in would be Calise Osorio, as a backup keeper for Virgin Islands. As Lopez speaks to Corral.
Venga, vamos a iniciar atrás de bancas. A la 1, a las 2 y a las 3.
Difficult day for DeFore, but this Mexican team, one of the favorites in these qualifiers. One of the top teams in Concacaf, there's no doubt about that. The United States and Canada, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Mexico, those have been traditionally the top teams. And the United States and Canada not participating in this tournament because they have already punched their ticket to the Concacaf Championship. Jones is up. Had her calf work done by the training staff for Virgin Islands. It's going to be dropped to Robles and we can restart. Caceres, far on the wing, going 1v1, having trouble getting around, being pushed, now off the cross, Rem punches away, rebound, finished by Mexico. Finally a goal in this second half. It's Palacios who just stepped on the pitch. Kiana Palacios. Oh, Rem initially punches. Palacio misses at first, but then she tries and follows through this time. Palacios plays in the NWSL for the Utah Royals. Previously with Club America from 2021 to 2026, so a long career in Liga MX Femenil. And it's 9-0, Mexico. Making a run again, Palacios. Brings it around. This game has been dominated in every single aspect by the Mexican national team. Delgado. Oh, here comes Virgin Islands. Farmer able to slow. There are 3 defenders back. 1 player there, and Nieves for Virgin Islands. Perez. Caceres, if she can get there, yes. But she was off balance. Caceres with the press. And forced into the corner. Robles. From Perez, far post. Multiple players there, tumbling down Corral. Palacios. Looks to square. Takes it past multiple defenders and a point-blank shot right into a player for Virgin Islands. It looks like it's Speakman. Not sure if it was to the face or the chest, but oh, that was a hard shot. Another look at this, Palacios. Yeah, right in the chest. That will knock the wind out of you. It's actually Frost who is down. I was trying to catch her breath. With less than 5 minutes to go in this game. Well, we've seen one goal in the second half. It's Palacios. Otherwise, everything happened in the first. Sanchez with 4. Corral. Maybe another one here for Mexico. Powering out of their own end, Virgin Islands. Robles. Caceres. Farmer from outside the 18, off the crossbar. A good chance. It feels like they've been searching for Farmer. She's gotten in some good spaces in this second half. Mentioned that relatively new to this squad. Well, she wanted that one. Played long. On the wing. Corral with momentum. Palacios, saved by Rem. Well, Palacios, it would have been a brace in the second half. Set piece for Mexico. Oh, no question that Rem has been the star in this game for Virgin Islands. She has been called upon time and time again. She's made a lot of saves. And it has been constant action for Jenna Rem. From Corral on the delivery. Through the air. And it's off the mark. Well, for Mexico, they don't play until next Saturday against Puerto Rico, so quite a bit of time off to prepare for what will be a game that decides Group A. Such an important match for those two teams. Somebody's World Cup hopes are gonna die in that game There's a lot riding on it for both of those countries. You know, you think about a Mexican team and the journey that they've been on and missing the last 2 World Cups, this Puerto Rican side. They've emerged as of late and have some really strong players on that group. They want to get to that big stage as well as a country. We're going to get 4 minutes of stoppage time. Gutierrez! She's ripped a couple of shots from distance. I think Virgin Islands onto her. Well, Mexico does have the upper hand in that game against Puerto Rico. Just need a draw. Frost will take this goal kick for Virgin Islands.
Ahora sí, Zacatecas, vamos con la hora una vez más, atrás en las bancas. A la 1, a las 2 y a las
Just look like Jones is down. A little bit earlier, she got worked on. Appears to be cramping up, and so had to be looked at again.
Vamos una vez más con esta ola. De izquierda
Soars to the midfield
de 3.
and bounces.
3.
Barreras just holds. Farmer dribbles forward. Cáceres. Robles. Cáceres. Too much on that. About a minute to go. Gutierrez. No time for a push here for Virgin Islands. Powering up the flank. Oh, Virgin Islands looking for a call there. Had a burst of speed. Corral. Showing off a burst of speed on her end as well. Perez. Robles. This could be one of the final plays for Mexico as it skips through. There's a final whistle. 9-0. Mexico defeats the U.S. Virgin Islands. 8 goals in the first half for Mexico. And it's a statement victory as they look to win Group A in the next match against Puerto Rico.
Nos escuchamos, Zacatecas, cantando toros. Las luces de su ciudad bien prendidas. ¡Vamos, Zacatecas!
Let's take a look at the highlights from this one. From the jump, Mexico against the Virgin Islands. Maria Sanchez, opening minutes of this game. Sanchez, her first of many goals in this match. Sanchez just getting open. It's a pass that really leads her into a left-footed strike. That's her favorite foot. And Sanchez tallies to make it 1-0. This one lifted to Corral. It's a lovely little header from Charlene Corral. Heading into this game, she had 9 goals over the course of just 2 games. Make that 10 in 2 and change for Corral. This in the opening 10 minutes as well. Mexico not done, to say the least. This time Sanchez on the far side. Defender just completely misses, and Kelsey Hill falls over. No one closes in on Sanchez with the ball, and so she just takes the shot. Looks like she had no angle, but when you look here, she didn't have a great angle, but she had time. Maria Sanchez, her second of this match. You can't let a player like Sanchez have that much space to operate. And Bernal, the 6th in this game, gets fouled as she blazes into the 18. It would be a penalty. Charlene Corral steps up and buries it. And Mexico, with quite a bit of cushion already in the first half of this game, tucks it in the corner, does Corral, and she has a brace to match Maria Sanchez. Those two, the dynamic duo in the first half. Kimberly Rodriguez gets in on the action off this corner kick. Plays for Club America. Goes virtually unmarked, or she gets a step, I guess, on the defender there in Hill. And that would make it 5-0. Now Gutierrez to Scarlett Camberos. Camberos takes a shot. Rem off the rebound. The keeper initially stops. Corral gets in. Can't totally finish. So Sanchez able to tally her 3rd. That would be a hat trick for Sanchez. The 2 players you want in and around the ball in the box. Sanchez and Corral. What a duo for Mexico. This one threaded to Camberos. Camberos. That's a great finish with her right foot. Camberos with her goal on the day. At this point, Mexico absolutely rolling in this match in front of a fantastic crowd here at home. Not done yet in the first half. Camberos begins this on the build. Sanchez wide open. Looks like she megged a player on that shot and in Kelsey Hill. But for Sanchez, that's 4 goals in 1 half. A little give and go with Camberos. No look pass to Maria Sanchez. I saw Rem a little frustrated getting up, but she had a good game when you consider just the volume of shots that Rem had to face today. Off the crossbar as we begin the second half from Nicole Perez, the sub. This one, the service, and it's a little bit high for Corral. A little bit of a slower half for Mexico, certainly in terms of production, but not in terms of how many shots they got. So many opportunities. There's a look from the sub, and Rem able to punch it away. Palacio, excuse me. Finally with a goal for Mexico in this second half after so many looks. She misses initially and then cuts it down and scores. So Kiana Palacios would make it 9-0. And that's the final in this game. Mexico with a decisive victory over Virgin Islands. 65 shots in this game for Mexico. 25 shots on target. 9 goals. No shots for Virgin Islands. There's no doubt about it. Mexico deserved to win this match here in Concacaf W Qualifiers. What it means is they are tied on points, Mexico, with Puerto Rico. And so that sets up a game that decides this group and who moves on to the Concacaf W Championship next Saturday. Virgin Islands, they've been eliminated from winning the group, but they still have one more game in qualifiers. Well, Mexico putting on a show today against U.S. Virgin Islands, 9-0, the final. That's going to do it from our entire crew. I'm Maura Sheridan saying so long. Have a fantastic night, everyone.